Happy Super Bowl day! This is Football with Erin. Big day. This is my first Super Bowl. Um, it is not the world's first Super Bowl. Last year, 167 million people watched the Super Bowl. Super Bowl Sunday is second only to Thanksgiving in food consumption in the United States. We will consume, and by we I mean you, because I don't eat meat. We will consume 1.25 billion chicken wings today. Billion. There are like 300 million-ish people in the United States. That is 4 chicken wings per person, at least. And I'm not eating my 4. Some of you are eating a lot of chicken wings. On average, Americans will consume 1,200 calories during the game. During the game, which is like 3 hours. Let me give you a little rundown on the two teams, because this is some information you're going to want, and I've heard that networking is very important when you're watching a game in a social setting, so feel free to use any of these facts when you're mingling, talking to people, pass out your business card, drop some knowledge. A lot of people are calling this Super Bowl the Har Bowl. If you do that, you are the worst person in the room. Don't do it. It's tempting, because it's punny. The coaches of the respective teams, the Ravens and the 49ers. The coaches are Jim and John Harbaugh, and their brothers. Super Bowl, Harbaugh, Harbowl. Don't call it the Harbowl. So the Ravens, Baltimore Ravens, right? They have won exactly 1 Super Bowl in 2000. By the way, I found out that the Ravens used to be the Cleveland Browns, which is possibly the most generic team you could ever come up with. My favorite part is they moved to Baltimore as the Ravens, and then 3 years later they're like, no, we like the Browns, and they made another team called the Cleveland Browns, which still exists with no logo on their helmets. If you're a Browns fan, good luck with that. The Ravens get their name from the famous poem by Edgar Allan Poe, The Raven. You'll probably hear a lot of people at parties today saying, quoth the Raven, nevermore. Feel free to punch those people. I doubt any of them have read The Raven. The quarterback for the Ravens is Joe Flacco. He is, well, depending on who you talk to, he's either completely underrated quarterback who's going to turn out to be a great clutch quarterback and win the Super Bowl, or he is that guy that completely melts down during important games. San Francisco 49ers, the other team, they've had 5 Super Bowl wins. The original logo for the San Francisco 49ers is a miner. His name is Sourdough Sam. Colin Kaepernick. Talk about this guy. He has only started 9 games. 9 games. I think there's a little bit of hero worship going on in San Francisco of the Kaepernick. He actually replaced quarterback Alex Smith, who had a concussion. Kaepernick came in, did a good job. Alex Smith was just sitting on the bench. Sorry, Alex. The thing about the 49ers going into this game is that they are the first team in the history of the NFL to not have a 3-game winning streak going into the Super Bowl. Not one. 2 wins and a loss. 2 wins and a loss. More important than the actual information about the game, obviously, is the drama. First and foremost, we are told Beyonce will be singing live. Glad we could all get that out of the way. Big drama. Dan Marino has a love child. Not gonna lie, I just started watching football. I don't really know who Dan Marino is, nor do I care that he has a love child. The biggest drama of all is what I like to call the battle of the douches. Each team has a pretty big douche. Let's start with the Ravens. The Ravens' biggest douchebag has got to be Ray Lewis. First and foremost, Ray Lewis. He just cries all the time. Like he's always crying. Like I don't know that I've seen the man and he wasn't crying. Like I mean he just cries. I bet he cries while he plays. The big news with Ray Lewis is that he was drafted the first year the Baltimore Ravens were even a team. So in 1996, Ray Lewis was drafted. He's been with them the entire time, never played for another team, and this is his last season, and that means this is his last game. By the way, Ray Lewis got his college degree, because he has one, in arts and science. Little did you know, that is a degree. And I feel like, I mean, it just kind of, arts and science is like so much. Like it's so much stuff. He could, he could probably do anything he wanted. Really, now that he's retiring, he could do arts. He could do science. Here's why Ray Lewis is allegedly a douchebag. In 2000, he and a couple of friends went out to a party in Atlanta. Things went south. 2 men were stabbed to death. Ray Lewis and his 2 friends were accused of the crime. Here are the facts. Ray Lewis was wearing a white suit that night. That suit has gone missing, was never found. Because, I mean, I lose my white suits all the time. The blood of the victims was found in his limousine. There's that. His 2 friends had bought knives earlier that week. He testified that they bought knives. They were actually acquitted of the crime. Nobody's ever been convicted. Ray Lewis settled with the 2 victims' families out of court, and the NFL fined him $250,000. Which, by the way, is how much Ray Lewis makes in one game. By the way, I went to Ray Lewis's website and found this picture. I don't even know where to start. But I would like to point out he is on every type of social media possible, and he has a link on his page to his MySpace account, and it says be friends with Ray Lewis. You guys, his 2 friends in Atlanta learned. Don't be friends with Ray Lewis. Our 49ers douchebag, Chris Culliver. Chris Culliver managed to make a douche of himself the week before the Super Bowl, which is pretty impressive. You would think he would be focusing on the game, one of the biggest games of his life, but not Chris Culliver. Chris Culliver was answering questions about gay people. I don't do the gay guys, man. I don't do that. No, we don't got no gay people on the team. They gotta get up out of here if they do that. Also, can't be with that sweet stuff. Nah. Can't be in the locker room, man. Nah. And, my favorite, what should gay people do if they are playing football, Chris Culliver? Yeah, come out 10 years later after that. When you play for the San Francisco 49ers, who do you think your fans are? The 49ers were the first NFL team to make an It Gets Better video. You did not get the memo. Did you miss the day where they did the video? The big question on everybody's mind is who's going to win? And I think that comes down to a lot of things. Is Ray Lewis going to be armed? Are the Ravens going to figure out that if you grab Chris Culliver's ass, he's not very good at playing football anymore? The two teams are pretty evenly matched. We're looking at what could be a really good game. Both teams have a Harbaugh. Both teams have a douchebag. And during the regular season, both teams had 16 giveaways and 25 takeaways. When you look at regular season points, the Ravens had 398 points, the 49ers had 397. I mean, you can't get closer than that on the numbers. I'm going to call it right now. I think the Ravens win, and here's why. Donald Trump is rooting for the 49ers. You guys. Do you remember the World Series? Do you remember when San Francisco won the World Series? They destroyed that city. Can you imagine if they win something else? In the end, it honestly doesn't matter because I will be cheering for the Green Bay Packers.